Greetings people of the internet, it is I Shadow01, back and made another video. This time, we're actually going to get to the Q&A. So with this being said, I just want to say getting to the 100 subscriber mark was not easy, albeit, as much as I would say, YouTube's not really an easy platform to go by that often. But even if it isn't, there might be a good chance that I'll keep on doing this. If I don't, then I guess I'm not. I don't know. I just run the YouTube channel in my own way, as everyone else would. Alright, no more bullshit. Let's get to the Q&A.
Are you gay?
I looked around in my room and I don't happen to have any rainbow flags, so that doesn't mean I really am gay. However, I do have a PS2 right next to my laptop right now. Does that seem like something?
Where the fuck is my rematch?
If you're saying in regards to a Team Fortress 2 match, I really don't know. I don't really go play Team Fortress 2 that much as I used to back in 2013 anymore. Don't get me wrong, much like Left 4 Dead 2, this is an actual good game. But the only problem is, Team Fortress 2, unlike Left 4 Dead, is becoming more abandonware as far as I am concerned by the company. With all the shit that has been happening inside of Team Fortress 2, it made me rarely join inside of the game that much often as far as I'm concerned. And sure, this is a clip of this is background footage of me playing Team Fortress 2. I was playing Team Fortress 2 with my brother when he had asked me to play it once before. But aside that, I really don't feel like playing Team Fortress 2 that much often as I used to anymore. I'd say the match we initially played was sort of a draw, but if anything, you mostly got more of the points of playing and beating me inside of the game as far as I'm concerned. I think this was more inside of a ×10 community server, but either way, it still lies to be the case. You still held up more than I can. I don't know, it just highly depends. If a rematch does come in, then it does come in. I just don't feel like going back to the same roots as it all just initially went down after the end of the line update inside Team Fortress 2, or even the Scream Fortress 2 where it had the bumper cars and all that shit. Not only that Valve or Gabe Newell is not updating this game as much often, but also what impacts this community even further in the negative sense is the fact of this video, where there's a bunch of fucking pedophiles inside of this community that I don't want to have a part with. Some of us, like you and I, are not really pedophiles inside of this community, but there is some fucked up people within this community that do play this game, and I really don't like having a part with those type of people if they have to come up with some fucked up shit like that. Sure, I'll make a video about them, but that doesn't mean I want to play alongside with them. Not only the case of pedophilia that some people will have, and that they're inside of this Team Fortress 2 community, but at the same time, my other problem about this is the fact of people getting cheat engines and just straight up aimbotting and have a skill issue inside of this fucking game. And most of the servers that I played once before, and I still play at some point, are dead, which means I don't really play those servers as I used to anymore. So the much more simpler answer being said as to why I don't play Team Fortress 2 anymore, I probably won't even play it later on, or you won't even get a rematch, is because one, Valve coming up with straight bullshit as to why they don't update their games anymore. 2, the degeneracy involved within half the community. And 3, the straight up aimbotting, which Valve anti-cheat engine barely picks up. And even if they picked up this shit, it has lousy timing as far as I'm concerned. And number 4, let's just face it, the player base is just dying out at some point. I mean, yeah, sure, there are some people that still play this game and are trying to keep the player base strong inside of this game, but it just feels like it decreases more than it does increase. So the initial match that we might have fought against each other on the Team Fortress 2 server that we both met up at, you most likely won that match. I'm not gonna lie with that. Unless if it's some other game than just Team Fortress 2, then by all means, I'm just gonna say that I don't really remember what other game we played against each other on.
What are your goals with your channel?
One of the fewest goals, yet my side goal as of now, is to not profit from any of my YouTube channels. And so far, I'm succeeding on that one. That's the only thing I could go by. And the reason why I did pick not to profit from YouTube, because it might make me feel in the sense of being a most scummy yet shitty YouTuber to ever exist, like Mr. Boss for the Win or Cernando, for milking a video that is straight up misinformation and just slander as far as I'm concerned. I've had this discussion with my real world friend Angel once before, and he finds it much more interesting. We may have talked about this on Discord, but I still want to keep that as my primary objective. Never profit from YouTube. It's at least one of the things as to why my YouTube channel has copyrighted music in some of the videos. Not only that, but why I'm cursing very often in some certain points when I'm mad, and why I don't censor the pieces that I curse out inside of some YouTube videos. And that applies for any YouTube video I made on the long run, whichever one is upcoming and whatnot. And other goals for my videos within this channel, I want to do as much creativity as I possibly can. I know the commentary videos are not supposed to be creative, but it's whatever. But maybe some gameplay, maybe even some animation videos, that will be a different story. But it all depends on the long run of my YouTube channel. Another part is trying to be as truthful as much as I possibly can on the long run. If there's straight up bullshit that has to come up against me just for clout, that's when I draw the line and I'll just straight up say this is complete bullshit. But if it's something that has to do with me and I see that it is actually something interesting, it's somewhat good, I'll step up to it. Step up to it and learn a lesson on a mistake that I have made once before. And I don't want to go straight up saying right away that I haven't made a mistake. I probably have, but I haven't really looked into what mistake I have made by anyone else inside of the YouTube platform.
Anything or anyone you look up to / inspires you and your content?
An interesting question, I would say. So, for the very beginning that I was watching YouTube, it was mostly PewDiePie back then when he did some funny game videos and he did the brofish shit and stuff like that. And this was being said when I was inside of elementary and I had the school iPad. But then time has changed and we were at middle school. I eventually got intrigued to watch Van Oz Gaming. I saw some of his gameplay videos, which was Call of Duty, and trust me, I wasn't a big fan of Call of Duty at the time. But then I saw him play some Garry's Mod and then some other games, and I thought to myself, this is the most awesome shit I've ever seen to exist. But what initially got me to do a racing game series of my own, which was to be called The Chronicles of Blue, was basically a series that I wanted to make on my own by the inspiration of Chip300RR after he had made the series name as Jolto Chronicles. So oddly enough, I had my own takes on Need for Speed Heat gameplay and thought I used the footage from there to make The Chronicles of Blue possible. I even made the cars of my own design that I thought would be cool enough to do this when I initially thought that it would be a good idea that Need for Speed Heat would be the game for this whole-on series. And I thought it would be a good idea to put this up to Season 5 as far as I was concerned. And that the story would be basically one Pikachu that would be racing and is trying to become the best racer within the US or within the whole entire universe of where it's connected to the Johto Chronicles. However, I find it evident enough that at one point, racing to become the best street racer was too common as far as I was concerned, so I thought that was not going to go good. And this was brought up on my own personal site since Need for Speed Heat was eventually being discontinued for updates and shit like that, and Need for Speed Unbound was into development. And that was another problem, is that Ghost Games, Need for Speed Heat was abandoned after Ghost Games got shut down. My idea was to utilize whatever updates that Ghost Games were going to deliver into this game, such as cars and stuff like that, and utilize it for more and newer characters within the series. But it was really a fuckfest after EA decided to shut down Ghost Games and put Criterion back into making newer Need for Speed games. And yet, this is because Need for Speed Heat was the best modern Need for Speed game we've gotten aside Payback and 2015. Those few things had impacted me on making Season 5. Actually, it also impacted me on making the series as a whole. I thought to myself, I am never gonna be able to get through this story if I don't come up with something new, something intriguing that hasn't been tried out before. I mean, sure, the whole entire revenge thing or something like that was kind of new, or, well, I shouldn't say new, it was original, it was already like something that had occurred a few times on previous movies or animations and whatnot, but at the same time, why not? Plus, I had to wait for whatever new game was going to come out and determine that would be a good game. I didn't find Forza Horizon 4 or Horizon 3 to be the best takes because, well, I wanted to be more of a game that has I know I wanted to be more of racing, but I wanted to have cops that are AI drivers that chase after you, and that it would be a modern game because I know that at some point I'm gonna need help from people in the online world inside of any racing game that has free roam to make some of the cutscenes or whatever. Continuing on, from commentary wise, I have to pick Swagta. He happens to bring up some of the good content and some good points he had made for his time when he was doing the Destroying series. This is all being said for when he made a video about Mr. Boss for the Win and Fernando and Jack Thompson and all that kind of shit, so yeah. Well, with that being said, thank you for watching this Q&A. I know I have a few questions asked and I took 10 minutes, maybe even more, just making this video. But with that being said, feel free to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And if you want, I can do another Q&A video again. If you want me to, I'll do a part 2 of the 10 mark subscriber Q&A video, just in case if there was anyone else that wanted to ask me a question, but they asked me a little too late. But I don't know, that'll be up to you. I'll post it up in the community, and I will see from there. But with that being said, my name is iShadow01, and I shall see you in the next episode.